As Lord Mayor of the city of Växjö and the greenest city in Europe, I welcome you out in the forest. The forest that's very important for our area and municipality, but it's also important for me as a private landowner.
And it's many people who is depending on the forestry and its products and the processes. And that goes both for family who owns the forest, but also for the people working with the industry who is further processing the forest into products and export them, and it's a big part of our economy.
Well, this is the beginning and the most important start for the life for a forest plant.
Because if there is a good start in a forest, it also means that the end product will be really good and possible to use for many different kind of products.
So that's why we are cultivating the ground for the moment, to open up the soil and take the grass away so the plant will have a good start. Actually, the dangerous years is the first 5 up to 10 years. Then you can relax. After 5 or 10 years, you can relax.
We have the natural seeds, but then we also have the plants, and that's normally it's manually done and put down in in this cultivated area. And it's very important to have a short distance between the plants, because they are going to start very narrow, and then gradually we thin it out during the process of these 70 years.
And it's more than a lifetime for a man, actually, but I make my part in this. I'm not having the possibility to cut down this tree. I'm planting it, and hopefully my children and the next generation will harvest the final product.
You can say that we do a first pre-thinning, and then we do a thinning, and then it's the clear cutting.
Pre-thinning and thinning is a method for the forestry, the young forest to grow up faster, and you make different choice to favor special plants. It will be more wood and more money. That's the point. Here, for example, it's birch trees and pine trees, and we have taken about 50% of the stems, and these are going to be biofuel, as you can see there. Here we are standing in a forest that is about 40 years old, and the operation here is a thinning operation that is going on. In a thinning like this, you can say that most of the wood that is cut is pulpwood. It can also be biomass if it is very thin, and if there are some big trees, then you can cut 1 or 2 saw logs also out of that, but that depends on the size of the trees. Here we can see how it looks like in a thinning after a thinning operation. We stand at a strip road where we can see all the tops and the limbs in the middle of the road as protection for the roots on the trees standing both sides, and all the wood placed good at the side for the forwarder to come in and protect and pick up. And that means when the forwarder comes in here, he has this bed of limbs and tops to go on, and it doesn't do any damage to the ground.
When the forest is fully grown, that's when we do the clear cutting. And the clear cutting, then we take basically all trees away. But we also look after the environmental issues, including leaving some trees for birds and for different animals which need it for for their growth and for their life.
And the machine here is equipped with a 10-meter long crane and a felling head in the end. So what he's actually doing is that he goes out, grab the tree, and then it's a chainsaw that cuts off the tree, and it's fell down to the ground. And then there are feed wheels that pull the tree through the head, and there are knives that cut off the limbs. And in the other end of the head is a chainsaw that do the cutting into saw log. So the cross-cutting then is done over the computer, but with help of the operator, because the computer can only get diameter and length information, and quality and damage on the tree and such things is something that the operator has to look at and give information to the computer. The computer tries to optimize the cutting and get the best value out of the tree. What we see here behind me is a stand where the harvester has gone through and done the harvesting and the cross-cutting, and he has placed the cutted logs in different assortment piles at the stand. So that is for saw log, for stud log, and for pulpwood. That makes it easier for the forward operator that now is working behind me to pick up the different assortments and sort them when he comes out to roadside, because then they should be assorted into piles for saw log, stud log, and pulpwood.
And the saw logs comes from the bottom end of a tree, and it's always the highest quality of a tree, and that's including also the biggest, the widest part of the tree, and then it's individual from the tree, but further up it's getting first pulpwood and then biofuel. And about 50% of a clear felling is saw logs.
After cutting the tree, it is loaded on a truck, and the trucks arrive here at this place. The logs are measured so that the forest owner get paid. And after the logs are measured here, this place, it's transported up to the sawmill. And the logs are debarked, and the bark used for heating, and the logs goes into the saw line. And after this, it passes through a scanner and scans the log, get a 3D view over the log. After that, the computer decides what dimension we are cutting in this log. It goes to the first reducer and are turned in the right way to get as much as possible cut in this special log. After the first reducers, it comes in, out, and it goes into the second reducer, and after that the split saw. And then it goes up to the tray sorter for sorting the pieces. After we have put those sticks in between each layer, it goes into the kiln. And in the kiln it stays for about 4 to 5 days, and after that it has a moisture content of about 16 to 18%, and they're ready for planing. In the planery we're making the surface smooth, so it's easy for the carpenter to work with.
In Villafabriken we produce the walls completed. We paint them and we make them complete inside and outside, and then we transport them to the building site and another contractor assemble them.
Hyresbostäder distrikt Portvakten are unique timber house, 8 floor with a passive house technique. By building homes with timber, we take the environment into consideration. Timber houses are environmentally friendly and stable, and also solid wood provides good acoustic comfort.
Energy is an increasing part of the forestry, and it's including different kinds of products actually and processes. And it can both be used for heating, it's electricity, and it's also biodiesel and biofuel. And the biggest one in Sweden, that's the heating, and that's both in sort of own one-family houses, there you have your own heating with either you take your own trees and burn, or you use pellets.
This is pellets, and the main reason for you to use this as an energy source for heating your house is that it's much better environmentally than say coal or oil. Plus this is a local product made locally, so it's not much transport cost for you as the customer. And it's cheaper than both coal and oil. Basically, it's compressed wood shavings, and I'm going to show you how it's made. And this is the pellets press. It's made out from a large die, a ring, with many tiny holes in it. And inside this, there are 2 rollers. And the whole die spins around while the rollers stay still. And the rollers push the wood shavings out through these little holes, making pellets.
Here is sawdust from the circle saws. Sawdust are used for pellet production, and in our area used for heating.
In Sweden, it's common with these big central heating systems.
Here we can see the biomass that we use to produce district heating and electricity in Växjö. It will be in winter time, for example, before Christmas, around 25,000 cubic meters to be sure that we can have enough fuel even if there will be a snowstorm. We produce heat and the electricity at the same time in a combined process. Here you can see the biomass entering the plant from what you saw before, and every hour in the maximum it will be more than 100 cubic meters coming in here. In these stokers, there are 4 of them, we enter the biomass into the boiler, and in the boiler the fuel is circulating around together with sand to get efficient burning in the process. These are the district heating pipes that supplies the town of Växjö with district heating. There are 2 pipes, one to the house and one back from the house. So it is a circulating closed system where we don't use the water, we just use the heat in the water. The ash from the plant comes out and we bring it here out to the forest. And the reason why we bring it to the forest is that we bring back the minerals as a fertilizer for the forest, so that the minerals is one circulating process and the CO2 is another circulation. So both of these is sustainable processes. But we take the wood out from the forest and we bring back the minerals. And what we actually use is the sun energy that is stored in the wood.
And this will be more and more an important part. Then we discuss with our customers and possible customers that they do understand how natural and how good really a forest is.
Now we are at Sundets Huits plant, and here are we producing renewable fuel as methane for cars. This is a biological process, anaerobic process, and we can produce at the moment for approximately 50 cars. But in the future we hope that we also can produce fuels from wood, and in that case we can produce much larger amount of fuels. It can be both gas and it can also be liquid, like Fischer-Tropsch diesel.
You can say that pulp is raw material for basically paper and packaging. And there is lots of different kinds of paper and packaging which needs different pulp. But pulp is also raw material in that process.
At Vida Paper, we produce high-quality design papers. We are boiling the wood chips until the fiber is clean cellulose. Then the fiber is pumped from the pulp mill to the paper mill, where different types of pulp are mixed in order to get the correct paper qualities needed. Once the pulp mixture is prepared, it is being washed out on a conveyor net called wire. There the water and fiber are separated until the paper web is so dry that it can hold its own weight and can run through the drying section consisting of steam-filled cylinders. Once the paper is dry, it can be sold either as reels or sheets and be packed in different ways.
We consider forest very important, but it's not just a lot of trees. It's also a habitat for animals, for the wildlife. It's a recreation area like this for people to enjoy. It's a production site for timber that can be used for housing or for furniture and other products. And it's also a continuing provider of feedstock for energy, for pulp, for the paper industry, and for many other productions. So we regard the forest in the area that's very important for business, for people, for animals, and for anyone that just enjoy nature.
For example, this forest we don't cut down because we want to have it for people's health, for recreation, going and running and so on.
We have this right for all people are allowed to walk in the forest and pick mushrooms and berries. But then we have the hunting. There you have to have licenses or your own forest. It's very important to continue to develop both the forestry process and how to use the forest in the best way during the time of growing, but it's also important to look for new products and to develop both pulp, energy and wood. And we are very happy that we have the university here in Växjö because it's close to our factories and our employees, and we can use it for develop our own people and our own process and do it together with the university.
It is very important for a country like Sweden to have a good level of education within its basic industries. The forestry industry is one such basic industry for Sweden. And it's a matter of having the possibility to study advanced courses, in my case in timber engineering, for instance. Highly engineered products contain a high added value and a lot of built-in knowledge, and that's the type of products we have to export, we have to manufacture in a country like Sweden to be able to compete in the future.
Yeah, we see a very bright future, and we have had some storms, but still we have lots of wood in our forest, and there is all possibilities to continue to develop the forest industry.